It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her.
So I woke up this morning and looked at the Smugglers Cantina's Facebook page. It's a private group if you want to join. Just look for the Smugglers Cantina and I will fit you in. One of my patrons there put this up. This is Yahoo News. Now, it goes through a couple of questions, and no, it doesn't say she's been fired, but says, with the failure of Indiana Jones 5, the future doesn't look good. We'll have to watch the next few weeks. And that's exactly what Cameron Pasha and Doomcock. Again, let's go over why this is important. This is a general news website, right? And they're now posting stuff like this. If we see the trades do it, and they kind of quasi-had in the post-mortem of the Indiana Jones 5, they've also put some positive things up, I think, for Iger's sake. However, when they were going after Indiana Jones 5, they're pretty much going after Kathleen Kennedy. And it's interesting to note that a lot of the insiders, like Matt Bellany here of Puck, he used to be a THR editor, he says he hasn't heard anything, which in my opinion means nothing. In my opinion, that means he has heard something and he's not at liberty to discuss it yet. Okay? Because he knows Iger. He could call Iger up and ask him to go out to lunch, for crying out loud. Okay? That's how connected this guy is. But what's going on with Bob Iger? First off, Iger had Kennedy smugly trying to shift the blame on everything onto him, which was a child, and other studios under the Disney umbrella, which was a childish, really weak argument. And I have to say, her lawyer should be fired if that is who schooled her on how to do that, because that's going to get your ass fired, okay? That's going to put a bone in the teeth of Bob Iger, the investors, everybody, okay? Iger knows his job and his legacy are at stake, and he is the bigger dog here. He's the bigger fish, and as Qui-Gon Jinn said, there's always a bigger fish, and Kennedy cocking off to him from this lack of self-awareness and the lack of how unaware she is of her own station right now is unfathomable to me. And the fact that she's unwilling to see anything wrong with what she's done. Okay, her argument was she was saving Disney money by not making Star Wars movies. She didn't make Star Wars movies because Disney wouldn't pay for them. Okay, she come up with an idea or a pitch, and Iger or Chapek could go, no, that's not going to make us any money. And of course, you know, her biggest fan, there he is, the man who's not doing her any favors right now. If they're in the UK, if she's with him, he's enabling her. He should be saying, look, we need to, this is what Frank Marshall should tell his wife. You need to resign from Lucasfilm and let it go. You should have done it a long time ago. Let John take it over and let it go on without you. This has not been good for you or for anybody. You know, and to be honest, honey, you're a great producer, but you're not meant to be a studio head. We all have different talents. And I don't see anything wrong had he said something like that to her. But I honestly think he understands that his legacy with Indiana Jones is hitched to her. And let me say, Steven Spielberg made sure he knew that on the stage at Indy 5's premiere in Los Angeles. Again, they could have bet they were invisible as far as Spielberg, Ford, and Lucas were concerned. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, every time she tried to get Iger to take some of the blame was a stupid thing to do. He had cause to fire her right there. And I do believe that after she left, they were like, she has to go. I don't believe Dana Walden is an ally of hers. Look, Dana Walden threw her own boss under the bus. Okay? Dana Walden wants to be the next CEO of Disney. All right? And she threw Peter Rice under the bus. So if she's playing good cop for Kennedy, she's playing a political game here. And I don't think Kathleen Kennedy's smart enough to understand that. But I do think, and I do know that Bob Iger is smart enough to do that. He's been at the Disney company for decades. So he knows what a cutthroat environment it is. And yet, we've got Kennedy unable to see where she stands, and she can't blame anybody but herself, and she won't stop pointing fingers at everybody but herself. And the man in the picture right here enables that. Okay? That's not what you do for your wife as a husband. Okay? She did this to herself. She could have said no anytime. The fact of the matter that she was even throwing her woke ideology under the bus fascinates me, because then it tells me she never believed in it anyway. Okay? Which this is the pathology we're dealing with. Okay? She did it for her narcissistic needs, to get those fed, and that's it. Okay? She wasn't interested in what was going on at Lucasfilm, and she's got what she deserved. Or she's going to get what she deserved come the next couple weeks. I honestly believe they may have decided to fire her the Thursday before, or the Thursday that Indiana Jones 5 dropped, because of the email suspension, etc. But we'll see.
You turned her against me!
You have done that yourself!
So what does Bob Iger do if Kennedy did in fact start blaming him for the bad box office over the last few years for Disney's major movies? What does he do? Does he tell her, we're not here to discuss other studios or myself, Kathy. You're the one on the hot seat. That's what he does, okay? What does he do when she starts cocking off to the point where he loses his temper? He loses his temper, all right? Bob Iger is one of the coolest movers and shakers in Hollywood, but I also have heard that if he gets pissed off at you, you know it, all right? He's not about to keep his mouth shut. And I don't see her getting away with gaslighting him. Or trying. I mean, I could see her trying it. I could see him looking at Alan Bergman and Dana Walden going, what the fuck? And Kennedy being put in her place. The fact that she basically crumbled and started screaming about YouTubers, basically said that she lost her wits. Okay, she couldn't keep her story straight, and she just said it's Doomcock's fault. It's, whoever Sparrow is, blah, blah, blah. And they're leaking things and all the rest of stuff. And, Iger knows better than I do that if a ship is happily run and the people are happy to be part of it, they're not going to leak. Okay, so he's looking at her saying, and that is your fault, Kathy. And the reason why it's your fault is because you didn't run a tight ship. Was she ever on the set of Indy 5 while it was being filmed? From the first week. She may have shown up every once in a while. I do have it on good report, and I'm not going to say where I heard this, Girl Scouts honor, that she was not liked by the crew and some of the cast on Indy 5. I think that that is now obvious if there were leaks coming out of what the plot was. But look, she can blame YouTubers all she wants. We have a job to do. All right. No, I don't. I do my own thing here. I talk about business. I often bring up lore every once in a while, but I bring up the behind the scenes stuff because I think it's fascinating. And it also helps, I think, the average fan understand what we're dealing with when we talk about why Indy 5 failed, why Solo failed, why The Rise of Skywalker or The Rise of Palpatine was shit. Okay. We know why it was shit. Okay. Because Kennedy doesn't know what the hell she's doing. But, we could, look, there is plenty of blame to go around. And Iger does deserve some of this. And The Departed for the WB, Alan Horn does too. However, in this, we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy. All right. We are not talking about Bob Iger or Kevin Feige or Pixar or Walt Disney Animation. We are talking about Kathleen Kennedy and her incompetent leadership at Lucasfilm. If she had fought for George the way she should have, we would not be sitting here. Okay, we would not be having these conversations. But she didn't, and here we are. All right, think about it. Okay. And Iger, I think, regrets not listening to George. I think in his book, when he wrote about how betrayed George felt, that he regrets it because he gave Kennedy way too much power. He hired literally the wrong directors and let her decide who was going to direct and write. And Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams and John Kasdan are the Omega team of writers. I mean, they're not even on the same page as a person who writes for the CW, one of their canceled superhero epics. Okay, it's just no, and I think he knows that. But Kathleen Kennedy is the problem here. All right, she did not offer any other options for the executives at Disney, and she did not lead her company, okay? And she was and is going to get blamed for this debacle. Look, $500 million is a tough loss, okay? It's a very tough loss to swallow. And destroying another franchise is very tough, especially one as revered as Indiana Jones, all right? And the fact of the matter is that she can't accept that loss, and she has to run away to England if indeed she is with Frank, and I believe she is. Just says to me that they have to fire her. They have to get rid of her. But we have to remember this. Iger does not want to go through a legal battle with her, screaming harassment, misogyny, blah blah blah, all the trigger words for the Charlize Therons and the Patricia Arquettes of the world, the crazy bitches. Okay, so he can't just drop the bomb on her. But I do believe she was pretty much let go without being told on Monday. And I think she was unofficially fired on Thursday when Indiana Jones dropped because of the fact that she is now locked out of the Lucasfilm email system. And there is supposed to be, I have heard, I think it was Doomcock that said it, an all-hands meeting emergency meeting for everybody at Lucasfilm Monday or next week sometime. Meanwhile, Kennedy is on her 2-week suspension, paid suspension, pretending she's the Duchess of Cornwall, pretending she's on vacation. And of course, you'll have people that hang out with the salty nerd and the black pill blobs saying that, oh no, she's just on vacation. And that's how they do it. They suspend their email so they can't get into the system. That is literally the stupidest rationalization I have ever seen coming out of the fandom, okay? They've obviously never had experience with Outlook or actually in an office environment of this caliber, okay? I have, all right? Executives like Kathy Kennedy do not say, suspend my email while I'm gone. They put an email out, an automatic reply. I'm out of the office for 2 weeks on vacation, blah, blah, blah. Lin-Wen Brennan can take any messages that you require to be looked at, and I will be back on, whatever date, and I will contact you then, whatever. That's what they do. But hey, why listen to people who've had experience? This is Steph, signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.